Hello, brand girls. Hello, ladies. Welcome to your platform. Welcome to your community. Welcome to your sisterhood. Again, if you're new to this platform, welcome. I hope you like it. I hope you have a chance to learn about this community of strong women who decide to share experiences for a better today, and we would like to do it like now. If you are returning to this platform, thank you for being there with us. Thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for your friendship, your sisterhood. Thank you for your love, your support. If you're a man, thank you also for being here. So, like some of you know, on Friday we conduct a live where we discuss about topics that affect women, sisterhood, friendship, family, everything really that is subject to conversation among women. And we share that in a respectful ways. So we're really happy to welcome you here as you participate to today's live. So the platform is in French and English. So our videos are always in French first, then in English. So if you catch it for the first time, stick with us and make sure that you share your comments, you share your feedback, your impression, and how we can make this platform better. So welcome here. I'm going to put the topic of today, which we discussed in French last week. We are still on the topic of emotion, but last time we discussed about how to control our emotion, but some women made a good point as to not knowing necessarily how to actually express their emotion. So today we're going to discuss how to express our emotion. So I'm going to put that in comment, and if you just joined the live, please let me know that you can listen to me fine because I changed scenery, as you can tell, and so that we can start the conversation going. So the topic is express our emotion. So I'm going to pin that topic. Yes. So on average, we try to keep our live very short so that people have time, or you have time to come back, look at it, take note, and so that it's not really a conversation that keep on going without you having the chance to ponder, to reflect on it, to let it sink. So we'll try to target about 30-45 minutes maximum, depending on the interaction and people coming, of course, joining and making sure that they have a chance to also participate. So I'm going to set my timer. Hey, Aida. Hey, myself. Also the boy, yeah. Welcome. So I'm going to set my timer for 30-45 minutes maximum. So we all have a chance to look at it again and not rush too much, but also not talk too much, if it makes sense. So let me put my timer now for 45 minutes maximum from now. Again, feel free to join. If you want to join with your camera on, go ahead. If you don't want to join with your camera, it's fine. You can join video and put your camera off and talk to me. I would appreciate your presence so that it doesn't look like I'm just talking to myself, or nor does it feel like I'm just having a monologue, or just coaching experience. Because one thing I don't do is to coach. I'm not a coach at all. I'm just facilitating conversation among women, and if you are new to this platform, I think you would learn it. If you are old, you know already what I'm talking about. So today we're going to discuss how to express our feeling. Again, some of you already know from going to school or just being in the environment, like with your family member, with your partner, your colleague, your friend, that you have to communicate on a daily basis. There is no other way around. You can't just escape it. You can't just hide from it. You just have to communicate. And our communication is strongly based on our emotion at the moment, and our lack of communication, same thing, is also based on the emotion or lack thereof. So it's very important as a woman to make sure that you have all the tools to, of course, control your emotion, as we already share, but to share your emotion at the right time as you express, as you feel them. You shouldn't feel that you have to withhold yourself from a situation because you don't want to express your emotion, because you will learn later in this life that it can create the opposite effect. So today we would focus on expressing our emotion and making sure that we do it the right way, the rightful way, knowing that we want to be in our feeling, we want to be in our moment, but we also respect the other person feeling, moment, and you don't want to step on their shoes at no point. So the purpose of this life is for you to learn specifically how to be a better woman by expressing your emotion the right way. So the first thing that you want to remember is, as you went to school, or as you were growing up, or as you were just like in any environment that asks you to not be alone, which is probably every day, because unless you lock yourself in your room, you will probably be around people at some point. You have to have some emotional intelligence. And it's very important to have some emotional intelligence. I'm saying that because most society, most communities, most school system or learning system would focus on the intelligence part, your IQ. They would look to see if you are very smart at school, if you know how to get around in the street, like street smart. They would always focus on the brain activities, meaning knowing if you actually can pick up things fast, but not many of them would actually think about everything that comes to your mental, your spirit, your emotion, your feeling, which is called emotional intelligence. It's very important to not only be intelligent, but to be emotionally intelligent, meaning that you know that those feelings exist and you know how to express them, when, to who, and how. So we're going to discuss how to be emotional intelligent, as a woman. But first of all, let me start with that. I'm personally learning how to be emotionally intelligent. I'm not perfect. I don't know it all. I'm learning from you. I'm learning from your experience. I'm learning from everyone around me, and I keep adjusting myself. One of the things about emotion, it's not static. You can never say, oh, I fully know how my emotion work. I no longer need to be helped. I actually got it very fine. I got this. No. Your feeling, your emotion, and the person that you are will keep changing with time as you change environment, as you get around people that you haven't met before, as you get with people that you actually do know, and based on your own growth. So you're going to keep improving over time. You're going to keep assessing yourself over time, and this doesn't stop. You only stop learning how to be emotionally intelligent when you decide to stop. That's same like knowledge. You only stop learning how to be knowledgeable when you decide to stop searching. So the purpose of this life is hopefully to have a woman realize that she's still in transit in learning about her emotion. She's still learning how to be emotionally intelligent. And yes, even though she feels like she's not there yet, there is hope, because we're all doing that at the same time. And we will give you some tools to do it better than others, or to learn it, teach it, pass it around to your kid, to your family member. Just be a better person, okay? So first of all, we all know that as human, especially as women, we have to be social, right? It's really hard to live by yourself. You can cut yourself for a while, go on a cruise, but you're still going to find people. You're still going to be able to have to mingle, learn about him, deal with the feeling. So the better thing that you have to do is to acknowledge that you need people around you. And then your emotions are going to shift based on that interaction, on daily interaction, okay? So what we're going to say is like there is two types of environments that determine your emotion and how you express it. The very first one is based on your external environment, meaning people that are around you, people that are actually interacting with you thriving with you, making comment about you, on behalf of you, in front of you, when you're not around. Those people are your outside world. So they're pretty much outside of your box, considering that the box is you, and they're actually making, an interaction with you in the sense that you have to produce an emotion. Not having an emotion about something is still considered an emotion to me, because that's a reaction. Being silent, not talking about something, deciding to lock yourself down is still a reaction, because as we decide and we shared a little bit earlier in our prior life, the emotion itself is a reaction that our system is producing somehow that we cannot prevent from having. Is that you thirsty, you want to drink. You're hungry, you want to eat. You want to have an emotion, but you want to know how to express them, and you need to express them. So the first part, like I said, is your outside environment, which is outside of your control, but still exists. The second emotion, the second part of that analogy is your internal emotion, meaning everything that goes inside you, everything that is triggering from within, everything that comes from your past experience, from your knowledge, from learning from others, from following page like this page, this community, everything that truly is within you that only you knows about and only you can tell. So this is your internal environment. So to be able to express your emotion, you need to know what need that emotion is actually trying to fulfill. So I will give you an example. If you were in a group of, if growing up you have a group of friends, let's say 4 or 5 friends, and you used to hang out with them every so often, and you realize that at some point you get cut out of that group and you no longer really have that attachment to them, from them as you used to. Your first emotion could be sadness, it could be anger, it could be frustration, depending on the reason why you guys are no longer talking. But this is just a feeling or an emotion that is linked to a need. So the reason why you need to know the need linked to your emotion is to actually perceive what is it about you that you want to continue working on and how you want to express them. So in the case of your friend, for example, if at any point of time you start talking to them and you're no longer that close, if you feel any sadness, if you feel any frustration, anger, or any empathy, depending on the situation, you may want to look at the need. There is different need as a man or woman or human, let's say, that need to be met. In business, we talk about one pyramid, I think it's called pyramid, that is like literally a different level of need. Because one of a great marketer has shared that, and it's found to be true, that is based on our basic need, our need to belong, our need to find recognition, our need to find, prices in what we do. So in that specific case, if you end up not being able to talk to those people that you used to be close to, and then, hey Flora, hey prisonnier même était là. Girl, I feel like you traveled, you left me here. I'll come back to you. I'm seeing your story. You have to let me know where you are. Merci. I'm trying to be like you. I'm trying to be like you. So if you find the need, if you find any sadness, you came, bisous, merci, thank you for showing up. I know you're enjoy for me and bring me something. Thank you. Okay, so if you find the need for you to actually, if at any point of time you find sadness or you find any type of feeling that brings you down because you no longer have that friendship, the need that you're probably trying to meet is the need to belong with, to belong in a group, the need to be a part, among of a group. This is very important because you cannot escape yourself from actually finding or fulfilling your need. We all need to be loved. We need to be cared for. We need to be listened to. We need to feel validated. We need to belong. You need to eat. You need to, to just feel good about yourself. So sometimes we actually expressing our feeling based on the emotion that is triggered inside us, based on the situation or the people around us, when truly it has nothing to do with the people, it has nothing to do with the context, it has nothing to do with the situation we're encountering. It actually comes all from within, from a need that we haven't met, from a need that we may not even know or we may not have identified yet. So the first thing that you want to do as you try to express your emotion, and I want you to write it down because this is very important, is to write your needs. You want to be able to be listing them up. You want to be able to know yourself, that you know, oh, me as Helen, this is what I need. Those are my needs. Those needs will be different from Aida, for example. It will be different from Flora. It will be different from Monica. We all have different needs that need to be met. But until we match them, until we name them, it will be hard for us to actually know what need we're trying to encompass. Also, depending on where you are in your life, depending on the stages you are at, your need will be different. You will never be the same person. Hey, Bunda, hello, welcome. Your need would never be static. They will never be the same. Unless you really decide to lock yourself out, your need would keep changing. That's the reason why for every single step of your life, for every single situation that you encounter, or how cute, hey, I'm trying to be cute for you guys. I was so lazy to come on live, man. You guys saw my story. I was not having it. I was like, can I bail? Can I just rest? And I'm like, fine. Somebody's going to show up for me. I need to show up for them too. So thank you for being there. Merci. Thank you. So what I was saying, like, because your need will keep improving, your need will keep changing with time and your stages, you need to keep updating that list that you have done. Most people like us as a teenager are trying to find our identity. Even as an adult, sometimes we're still trying to find our identity. But with time, we tend to know what we like, what we don't like, and adjust to it. When you start getting to work, you have the need for validation. You have the need to have your competencies welcome, fairly, how could I put it, fairly compensated for. You have the need to belong in a group with your colleague. You have a need to also have a social circle. When you get to a certain level of life, if you decide to, you have the need to find a life partner. You want to be with someone that will be there for you in your old days. As a woman, depending on your circumstances too and your health situation, you have the need sometimes to procreate, to have kids, to actually bring the next generation in it. Mosquitoes. So your need will keep changing, and with all those needs, your emotion will keep evolving. So you have to remember that the need that I asked you to write down today for which you want to match your feeling to, those needs have to be updated in 6 months from now, in a year from now. The same way you do your evaluation, you should actually at least do your evaluation every year to figure out what need haven't been met yet. The same way you want to make sure that the need that you have as of today have been met, or if they haven't been met yet, you want to actually update them in the next 3 months, 6 months. Some people actually do the self-evaluation once a year. I personally do it once a year just because that's me. Some people will do the evaluation on a daily basis. They will do the evaluation every 3 months. I respect people that actually keep evolving with the need and keep changing them as time passes, because you cannot literally stay like a tree 24/7, 365 days a year and expect your need to be met. Meaning that, I'll give you an example. If you decide that you have the need for validation, you have the need to have your competencies welcome, you work on those needs, meaning you set your goals. You cannot set unrealistic goal, meaning that I cannot get up today and decide that, oh, because I love Bring the Girl so much and I talked to you guys women and you gave me so much input, I'm going to double the number of followers here or meet all of you guys on the island. That's not very realistic. So as you're setting your needs, you also want to assess them on a daily basis, at least once a year, to make sure that your needs are realistic. Because what's going to happen, you're going to feel to have a feeling of resentment. Resentment, I think they say resentment. You're going to resent yourself for not having meeting those needs. But needless to say, if your goals are not achievable, if they are not smart, like we did share about it in one of our videos early this year that I highly recommend me to look, meaning that if your goals are not specific, measurable, attainable, realistic and timely, you will most likely fail at meeting that need, which would create in turn the feeling of feeling unaccomplished, which is an expression of your feeling that you don't really want to be in. You see what I mean? So what you want to do is not only set your need, set realistic need, and know deep down in your mind that you will need to access those needs when time passes. Meaning that when I told you, for example, as a student, you go to school, you feel the need that you want to actually leave your parent house, be independent, have your own house. Yeah, that's really good. Once you get to that new job, you no longer have the need to leave your parent home. You no longer have the need to feel independent. You no longer have the need to have your space. You have your space, you have your job, you have your independence. So then what? Your feeling to be independent have been completed. You move to the next stage. So every time you want to express your feeling, remember that you have to always, or most likely, trigger them to something you want to accomplish. Some women that are very much into God will tell you something. As they go to the path of learning about, themselves and the God they pray, they keep evolving, they keep being a new person, they keep being more gentle, more candid, more nice to others. As it grows with time, they no longer need to reassess that relationship with God. Does it make sense? It just comes naturally. But that doesn't mean that you stop there. The journey continues. This is life. We're not supposed to be static. We're supposed to be evolving. Our feelings are supposed to be valid. But for our feeling to be valid, we need our need to be attainable. We need our need to be realistic. The second thing that I would say in terms of expressing your feeling is to truly communicate. I think that sounds redundant. That could sound redundant, but there is no way to express your feeling without communication. That's why even in most of those religious books, they will tell you everything starts with the thought. After the thought, the speech. After the speech, the action. Does it make sense? You cannot just not jump from not thinking through it, not speaking about it, to actually acting on it. Because if you do that, the person in front of you has no idea what goes in your mind. Like they said, I can't read your mind. You can't even read my mind as I'm sitting in front of you. Even though, yes, I have the whole intention to tell you what I want to tell you, unless I speak about it, this doesn't come out. So to express your feeling and your emotion, you have to have a minimum of communication skill. Should you learn it? Should you research about it? Should we talk about it to people that you feel are good at expressing their feeling? You have to figure out a way to communicate. Because one thing that happens most of the time is for people to sit in the corner and expect the other person to know what's going on in their mind. No, I'm not a mind reader. And even if I were a mind reader, I would still want you to tell me exactly what you think about me. You may not tell me that now when you're angry. You may not tell me that now when you're frustrated or mad. But I would want you at some point to express to me what's going on, because I wouldn't know. We communicate differently at different timing for different reasons, right? The purpose of communication is to be understood. That reminds me of one thing. Someone say here that they could hear me speaking English, the French speaker of course, but they could hear me speaking English so easily that they think this is not a good English that I'm talking about. That's funny, because the purpose of communication is to be able to be understood. So if I'm speaking a different language, this is not my maternal language, this is not my birth language, and you are able to understand me, I don't think you should make fun of it. Actually, it makes sense, because that means that at least I'm speaking something that is understandable. Same for your feeling. You cannot be sitting on that corner of the room being mad at the whole world, or at least someone, not mentioning to the person, and then expect them to do something about it. No, ma'am, that doesn't work like this. Like, nobody is going to come and draw what's going on in your mind, and even if they have the time to do, they will get tired with time, because nobody has time for that. Like, and nobody got time for that. Okay, so please, 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 as you're learning how to express your feeling, as you're getting into trying to be better at expressing your feeling, you really need to learn how to communicate. Because no matter the feeling you try to express, even if it's joy, even if it's sadness, no matter what feeling is, you will still need to express them somehow. And the only way that I can think of is through your mouth. Unless, of course, you have some disability health-wise and you can't really, speech is not part of, your ability. But even then, you will have some sign language, you will be able to write something. I mean, not everybody can speak, I get it, but you have to have a way of communication. Should it be by writing, by drawing, by singing, by acting? Like, you have to figure out a way within yourself that you can continuously express your emotion to someone at some point about something. Because the worst thing that would happen, oh no, okay, thank you for confirming, because I thought I was talking to myself at this point. But yeah, the only thing that will be the most frustrating part is to truly be in a relationship with anyone, your colleague, your family member, your parent, your employee, and not be able to tell what you think about. It doesn't matter what you have to say. All it is that you have to say something somehow. You may write an email when you're mad. You may send a vocal note. You may text. You just have to communicate. So today I really want to focus on the communication thing, because I feel like no matter what, there is no handbook to learn how to express our emotion. I'm not going to lie to you. At the end of this life, you're not going to come out with a handbook of how to express your emotion. You won't, because I'm still trying to figure out myself how to express my emotion. But I know one thing is being silent about it has never helped. Actually, it makes it worse. It has never, ever, ever helped. I needed to express my emotion. And when I wasn't expressing my emotion, my action did it for me. My face did it for me. My behavior did it for me. My lack of reaction did it for me. My tone in a test did it for me. So you're going you're going to expose yourself no matter what. So today, let's accept the fact that as women, no matter how sensitive we are supposed to be, no matter how so-called emotional we are supposed to be, we still need to express our emotion, because it has to come in. If it's inside, it has to go out. You just cannot. I'm not going to give you a bad example, but everything that comes in have to go out. Meaning that if there is anger, there is sadness, there is frustration. If there is happiness, there is joy, there is cheerfulness. It come from inside, it will come out somehow. How it come out depend on you. But in order to be able to express it very well, not only you have to know yourself, of course, but you have to take classes. Ladies, it's 2022. It's 2022. We have internet, we have book, we have our big sister, mother, aunt, cousin. We have our uncle, brother, father, husband. We have boyfriend, we have date, we have colleague. We have all the tools to know how to communicate. And if you don't know how to do it, then we go on Google, okay? We go on Google. We Google how to express my emotion. I may share some tip on how to express mine, but you are not me. I'm not you. I can only give you so much. All I can say is like, you need to have the need to learn to express your emotion. And one of the best tools that I can give you is to learn how to communicate. Because if you learn how to communicate, if when you are happy, you know how to express it. If when you are sad, you know how to express it. If when you are angry, you know what to express. I'm giving basic need, like basic feeling. it will be easier for you to navigate through your relationship with people, because there is nothing worse than not feeling acknowledged. And the second worst thing to me is for someone not even knowing that I need to be acknowledged. So for them to know that I need to be acknowledged, or my feeling need to be validated, I need to be able to tell them, hey, excuse me, ma'am, excuse me, woman, excuse me, ma'am, you hurt me, or you made me happy. I appreciate you. I care about you. I love you very much. Oh, hey, you step on my toes. This hurt. I want you to step out of my toes. I want you to go back in your lane. I want you to set that boundaries and stay there. But without me knowing it, there is nothing. The third thing is related to the second thing, which is learn how to communicate. If you don't know how to communicate, if you don't learn how to communicate, if you don't communicate proactively about your feeling, what you're going to do is having a repetitive cycle, meaning that no one would ever know what's going on in your life. They will treat you the same way over and over. You're going to probably be frustrating over and over, and nothing is going to go nowhere. Meaning that no SHIT would get done. Emotionally, you won't get anything from no one, because you are not emotionally available to even express your own feeling. So what you will do going forward, or at least try to do going forward, is communicate. Because when you don't do it, then it becomes too much to handle. Let's say you have an argument with someone that you have never had an argument with before. So you have an argument, you communicate how you want to be treated. It doesn't go nowhere, right? So you keep trying, you keep trying, you keep trying. Then at some point you decide to shut down, because arguments change differently depending on the circumstances. I can argue with love today about something and tomorrow argue about something else. It's never the same subject, right? But my personality also changed, her personality changed with time. So let's say I don't tell her, let's say, I will take the example I took in French because it's a good example. My birthday was last week. Nobody shared everything to me. I didn't get nothing. I didn't mention that I needed anything, so I didn't get nothing. So I'm not talking about it, and I stay on my corner hoping that someone understands that I'm frustrated. The worst thing that would happen when you actually do not express your emotion in that case is the other person that, like I said, cannot read your mind would also sit there and think that, hey, everything is cool. So let's say love sent me a text message saying that happy birthday girl, whatever, and I don't have the time to reply. And then when I do, 3-4 days later, she doesn't mention the frustration because she's someone that reciprocity very much in relationships. So she doesn't really mention anything about it. So in my mind is that we cool, I say thank you and I move on, right? Next year, she sent me happy birthday. I take about 2 weeks later to reply to her. She still doesn't say anything. So in my mind, cool. Later on, third year, she doesn't even say happy birthday neither. Now I'm mad because I'm like, oh, you used to check on me and now you don't. You know what happened? Let me back it up. Because she didn't tell me on time that she was frustrated with my time lag replying to a message, I consider it okay for me to continue replying at my own pace. With time, she never expressed her emotion, which means I never knew I was hurting her, which means I keep doing the same action over and over. At some point, she shut down, she came out of the picture, ghost me, bye. Forget about me, or at least remember, but never even say happy birthday because she's like, I'm not going to deal with her time lag. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, I got hurt. The thing is like, who is it to blame in that situation? Even though we don't want to point finger, because like I said, if you point finger at someone, you're putting 4 at you, so you have to look on your side what you could have done wrong. But you'll be back if I'm still there, Betty. Okay, please be back. I'm wearing your beautiful birthday gift. I want to say thank you, by the way. Say thank you to my cousin for the beautiful birthday gift she gave me. But yeah, I will be here. I put 45 minutes, I think. I have 15 more minutes on average. So if you catch me at that time, I will be there. If not, I will call you. Or you call me. Okay, so what I was saying is like, if you don't communicate your feeling, eventually in that specific case, the person to be blamed is not truly me, because my action was a reflection of how I treat people. I take 5 days to reply to people on average. I didn't know love have an issue with it because she never told me she has an issue with it. Samantha, in the opposite way, is fine with it. So how can I guess that it could be an issue for her, right? So by not expressing your feeling, you pretty much condoning an action. You are accepting an action. You implying that this treatment is fine with you, and that's how I want to be treated. So with time, of course, repetition, with time, people get better at hurting you because you get worse and worse at expressing your feeling. So that's a cycle. The less you express your feeling, at least the less you communicate your feeling, the more they hurt you, and you cannot even blame no one, because guess what? I can read it, and you would always be in the position where the person is still going to win it, because they will say, I didn't know I hurt you. And it's true, they didn't know. Either, oh, you say so true. Yeah, because one of the things that I learned with age, I won't say maturity because we're all learning to be mature, is I used to be very silent. Like not communicating at all. And expecting the person to come and then start the conversation so we can talk about it. And I was always frustrating because 9 out of 10 times, the person would never come to me to say, let's talk about it. So I would sit in my corner, expecting an apology that I will never get, to the point that I get disappointed and I keep moving because the person will never come. So now what I'm doing, that is my next point, which I suggest to you, is do not consider being silent as a way to express your emotion. People are going to come out of me for this one and say, well, I don't want to hurt people, I'd rather be silent, I don't want to, be in the feeling, so I prefer not to mention it, because if I say it, it's going to be more war, and I don't want to deal, I don't want conflict. I don't like conflict neither. Everybody that knows me knows I do not like conflict, but hey, we're going to fight now, because at this age, at a certain age, I cannot deal with BS, bullshit. I can't. I get to a point where I know what I like. I get to a point where I took too much time to learn my identity, to learn who I was, to learn what I want, to learn who I want. I took too much time to be wasting my time trying to have you make me wait until you're ready to talk to me. What I would suggest personally is communicate your boundaries. Again, we're going to go to that live that I highly suggest to check about boundaries. The only time I consider silence as a good action is when you tried it all. Like you have exhausted every single way of communicating that this specific action you like and this one you don't like. When you deal with someone that you don't know, you communicate to them what you like. When they do a mistake, you may give them a second chance. Some people don't give a second chance. I understand them. Sometimes I don't even want to give a second chance. But you communicate to them that, hey, this is how I want to be treated. I know you may not know, but now you know. The person does this a second time. You're like, hey, this is not how we do it, but I will let it pass. Or sometimes you cut it right there. But please communicate first. If now you notice that it affects your peace, meaning that when you go at night and you're sleeping, you can't deal with that anymore, I'm not saying ghost, let it go. Remove that from your heart. If it's joy, be in that joy. If it's sadness, suck it in. Because there would be no point to communicate your feeling to someone that doesn't want to receive your feeling. That's a movie time in my head. Girl, okay. Hey, so try everything that you can to deal with the situation until you can no longer deal with the situation. And if you can no longer deal with the situation, baby, please, pick yourself. Everyone is picking themselves. Flash news, everyone is picking themselves first. So if you don't pick yourself, nobody's going to pick you. Like I will pick myself first. So if you don't pick yourself, I can help you. I may try to be there with you and help uplifting you, but if we're both falling, I will try to get back on my feet before I can help you. How can you help someone if you can't even help yourself? So if your peace is at stake, if your mindset, if you're getting crazy about the situation, please leave. It takes two to tango, like they say. It takes, oh, that red lipstick is staining, man. It takes two to tango. So if nobody is dancing with you, just leave the party. Go home. That's it. Just leave. Go. Bye. Leave. So, to be serious, learn how to communicate your emotion. If it takes books to read, if it takes therapy, if it takes friendship, if it takes family, if it takes mentorship, if it takes bring the girls, learn to communicate your emotion. I have a book that I will always recommend. I always forget to actually put the book, but I will put. It's called Stop Saying That You Are Fine. This is my best book ever. Stop Saying That You Are Fine, because it showed me at some point in my life that I needed to say I wasn't fine when I was not fine, and I was fine when I was fine. Because sometimes we only want to express the positive feeling. Rebecca mentioned last week that there is not really one positive or negative feeling. I agree with her, so that's why I put in quote positive feeling. But every time we have anger on someone or frustration about someone, we tiptoe around it, which is fine until you process the emotion for yourself. But all I would say is that don't sit on it for too long, so the cycle doesn't repeat. Give the chance to the person to receive your feeling and see what they do with it. Give a chance to someone else to acknowledge your feeling and see what they do with it. Give a chance to someone to be in your presence as you express that feeling and see what they do with it. Because it's easy to blame other people by saying, oh yeah, they don't take care of my feeling, they don't acknowledge my feeling. But what did you do? Did you give them a chance to even know your feeling? And when you give them a chance to know your feeling, did you give them a chance to acknowledge your feeling too? Because me, for example, if I come today and I tell, let's say Rebecca, oh, I'm mad at you. Maybe it took me 3 months before I came to her to say I was mad at her. Why would I expect her to react immediately to that message or information and validate my feeling? If she's shocked, she may shut down and be by herself. That's fine. She may need time to process my feeling. So when you're giving your feeling to someone, remember that the same way you took, hopefully, the time to process your feeling, that person needs that same time, or longer or shorter, to process yours. So don't be frustrated. Don't be mad when you communicate your feeling to someone and the person is not reactive immediately, because that's something I'm working on myself. I want sometimes when I express my emotion for someone to jump and say, yes, you're right. No, don't be hypocrite. If you really want to be genuine, when someone expresses your emotion, if you are not ready to say something, say, okay, I hear you. I will get back to you. You hear my sentence. I said, you tell them, okay, I hear you. I've listened. I will get back to you. It's better to tell the person that I acknowledge that I received that information from you, and tell them I will come back to you, than not saying anything neither. Again, everybody is different. I'm just speaking from my experience. I'm just sharing what I wish I knew before. I don't know if anyone in the life now have overweight to express their emotion and find easy. Either I know you here, Betty, you were here also, Love, friends. Like if any of you is actually in the life and want to express how they navigate through expressing their emotion and how they navigate through having people receive their emotion, I'm willing to learn. But all I can say before I end this live, because I think, let me look at time. Yeah, I have about 5 minutes that I plan on this to make about 45 minutes. All I can say is, baby girl, you're good. You know how to express your emotion already. You just, you know the emotion you're going through. Sometimes you haven't pinpoint what is called. That's number one. Sometimes you haven't pinpoint how to channel it. That's number two. And sometimes you haven't pinpoint how to navigate it around people when they receive your emotion. That's number three. So if really deep down in your heart, you generally take the time to know what need to be met when you're feeling the emotion that you're feeling. When deep down in your heart, you have took the time to actually learn what the best way is for you to communicate that emotion. That's number two. If you took also the time to give, the chance for the person to receive your emotion, that's number three. You should be able to express your emotion pretty wisely and fairly without hurting you nor the people around you. Love, you say, create a safe place where you can express your emotion. Exactly. I think that's one thing that for me, probably I've learned over last year only, is truly dealing with people's silence when I want talk, when I want communication. Like if I say something and then you don't react immediately, I'm like, why? She dismissive, blah, blah, blah. And now I learned that, oh no, she's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. They are thinking about it. They will come back. But if it's repetitive and I still get that vibe that you do not care, that's another subject that we're not covering today. Today we're covering, like Love has said, having that safe place within ourselves to express our emotion and creating that safe place around ourselves to express that emotion. And I think truly, for any woman to learn to navigate both worlds, internally and externally, is mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing because you're going to focus on abundance. You're going to focus on gratitude. You're going to focus on empowerment. You're going to focus on growth. You're going to focus on positivity, creativity, femininity, all those things. You're going to really focus on what matters to you because you know that deep down, when an emotion comes to you, you have a place in your brain, in your mind, in your soul to channel it so that you don't get cranky, you don't get mad, you don't get annoyed, you don't smash at people and talk badly because you are so mad. Because sometimes when you have kids, I don't have kids yet, but I can only imagine when you have kids and you're mad, they will feel it. Mommy comes from work, she starts slapping the dog, screaming, and we're like, what's going on? You haven't even done anything. You're going to start yelling at them. Husband, everybody mix up together, yell, and they're like, oh my God, she's crazy. It could be your cycle. Sometimes it's our cycle, lady. Breathe. Sometimes it's your menstrual cycle. It's the hormonal change. Remember, some women, when they have their cycle, including myself, we can be but now that I know that, oops, that's a cycle, so I have to be more careful because I'm a little bit more tense. I like sweets. I like to eat sweet. I'm in pain. I don't want to listen. But again, you cannot just keep giving yourself excuses to step on over people's feeling so that you can express yours. I will end up with that. This is a no. This is a no. This is a no. This is a hell no. While you're trying to express your emotion, remember the person across from the room with you is also doing the same thing. So in the name of you trying to say, I want to express my emotion, I want to feel heard, you should never make an excuse for you to step on over people's feeling. Because when you want it now, you want it now. The world doesn't evolve around you. The world needs you, but the world doesn't evolve around you. So sometimes accept and give space to over people. is so nasty and is so disrespectful for you to think that people have to be there to listen to your emotion, but when they're talking about theirs, you shouldn't be there because no, it has to be you. You have to be validating. No. All I would say is that do to over what we want people to do to you. I will never accept someone to come to me and rub all the emotion in my face and expect me to just stay quiet or just start yelling. No. Give me the space that you would like to have when I come to you too. Let's learn how to create a safe space, like Love say. Let's learn for us to have the space. Let's learn for us to receive a safe space, and let's learn to create a safe space for people. And I hope that whoever watched that live today, at no whatever time, I hope they get that far in the live to actually remember that for you to receive something, it has to be given by somebody else. What about you give it to someone? What about you are the one that give that to someone so they can tell that this exists and they can pass it on? Because if I haven't received it, I don't know I can give to someone. If I didn't receive love, I don't know I can give love to someone. If I didn't receive respect, I don't know I can give respect to someone. If I didn't learn how to express my emotion, I shouldn't assume that people know how to receive mine. So let's be genuine, let's be kind, let's be grateful, let's love each other, but let's be real. Give to people what you want to receive. Express your emotion the way you feel that you would like to be channeled. And it's okay if you don't get it the same way you do express yours, because we are all different. And unless we were supposed to be all clone, God wouldn't create each of us different. He wouldn't have love. He wouldn't have Aida. He wouldn't have Betty. He would have all of us being the same if that's what he wanted. So there is a purpose of us being different. We have to learn from our difference. We have to be there in our difference. And we have to channel the best energy that we want to receive for ourselves to all. I don't know if you guys have any question. I think for me, that's a wrap. I was so happy that you could come at some point in and out and participate in the live. Thank you, love, for still being there with me always. I hope Connor is doing well. I can't wait to see you guys one day. I don't know, but I really can't wait to see you guys one day. Again, I will do the live next week. After that, I will keep you posted, because I really want to always have good subject to share, not just sitting there. And then, of course, try to be pretty and say hi to you when I can, when I have the time. I really want a genuine interaction with us, between each other. So if you watch that live later and you find some resourceful information, please comment. Like, truly all I do is hoping for you to react, hoping for you to put a comment, to share a story, to send me a topic of conversation. Like, I hope I'm not asking for much from you, but I truly continuously need your help and your presence, because this means everything to me, and that's all I can get so far until I meet you in person. So thank you for being there. Love, kisses to your family, and I hope to see you next week as I'm thinking about topic. If you definitely have a topic, I know we discussed so many topics together about 2-3 months ago. Please, if you think about anything top mind, let me know, because we're working on how to deal with our emotional hurt. Like, I don't know how to say in English, les blessures de l'âme. Les blessures de l'âme, like, you know how your soul get hurt. I don't know how to say in English, I have to figure out. But we're trying to find all those trauma that we have been going through since our childhood that can prevent us from expressing our emotion properly and discuss it. I have some women that are speaking French that would help me navigate that life, so I'm going to try to reach out to them. If you're an English speaker, or at least if you speak both language and you would like to be in the live with me, even if you have your video or not, I would love to reach out to me, because I want to learn from you, and I hope that you're learning from each of us here. Thank you again for being there. Betty, I won't see you, but thank you again for my birthday gift. Oh, I'm still receiving birthday gift, by the way, if you think of me. So thank you, and the best gift that you ever gave me is your presence in that platform. Please share it with at least one woman that you care about, that you think can learn from it at some point. That would be very appreciated. Let's grow together, learn from each other, and love each other. Until then, have a good weekend, and I will catch you later. Bye bye.